Welcome to this new podcast video. In this podcast, we are going to discuss about what should be the last 3 weeks strategy to crack JEE Mains, especially in mathematics where students find it difficult. Today we have with us Devesh sir, who is HOD of mathematics in PRACBEE and has an experience of around 12 years in teaching students for IIT JEE. And in this 12 years, he has produced tremendous amount of ranks. Also, he and me both are from IIT Delhi. So there is a common bond there as well. So Devesh sir, welcome to this podcast.
Thank you, Siva sir. I'm feeling very happy to join with you.
That now students have 3 weeks. So what do you think should be a strategy in JEE Mains, according to you?
3 weeks. Okay, so I think, sir, every time requires a different strategy. So December strategy should be different from January strategy. So
Okay.
if we have 3 weeks, so first of all, we have to keep in mind that in the 3 week, we have to fight with random things. Means
Okay.
there will be lots of random thoughts going on in each student. Now they
Hmm.
will feel that my preparation is bad, but
Hmm.
others' preparation is very good. So
Okay.
that is the part
Hmm.
of underestimation.
Hmm.
So when we are going to plan next 3 week strategy, especially in mathematics, so I'm just confining
Yeah.
myself to
Let us only talk
mathematics.
about mathematics.
So in mathematics, there is a clear, especially for mains, if we think about, so there is 15 chapters around that is
Hmm.
highly most of the questions they are asking from these 15 chapters. So
Hmm.
first of all, we have to identify these 15 chapters.
Hmm.
Then we have to suppose that in these 15 chapters, some student has a different comfortable in different sections.
Hmm.
So in these three chapters, they can divide like which are the chapters, suppose top five chapters where they feel comfortable. What
Hmm.
are the top five chapters? They are a little bit
Hmm.
medium type, not so comfortable.
Okay.
Then there may be some chapters where that is required, very important for JEE, but the
Hmm.
student is not comfortable.
Okay.
Okay. So once we have to categorize these 15 chapters into three levels, where
Hmm.
we are now as a particular student, where I am feeling comfortable, where
Hmm.
I am feeling moderate, where I am uncomfortable.
Got it.
So first identification of the problem should be done.
Got it.
Now the question is when we are saying I am very feeling comfortable in suppose top 15 chapters.
Hmm.
Let's I'm taking example I'm taking vector and 3D matrices and determinant. Suppose
Hmm.
I can take any block of sequence series or
Fine.
binomial block.
Hmm.
So if I'm feeling comfortable, next question is how to prepare that.
Okay.
What should be done?
Hmm.
So because I'm
Because
comfortable in
first,
that, so
if you move on to that part, first I will want you to clearly understand from what you have told me is basically the first thing is, if I summarize, is to understand the pattern of the exam and understand from where the easier questions and more weightage questions are asked from which chapters. That is the first part.
definitely, sir, definitely.
And we have done a detailed analysis in one of our earlier videos, and which we have told that I will also upload the link of the PPT along with this podcast so that someone wants to refer to the weightage of different topics in the exam, it is handy to them.
That will be better.
That would be better. Second thing is basically once you have done that analysis, what you told me next was basically now correlate that with your own strength and weaknesses, right?
Definitely, sir.
So what
SWOT
you can
analysis will be
do,
done.
you can target more. What you can't do probably should be the should be the third priority, and in between there should be a second priority which is possible to be prepared now.
Definitely, sir.
Got it? And I would like to add 1 or 2 points from my side that at this point of time, I would understand the whole game from a number games point of view. Like let
Yes,
us
sir.
say that if I'm doing physics, chemistry, and mathematics, and I usually prefer and tell students that give equal time to all the three subjects. So it
Yes, sir.
would more become like a number game. So ultimately, what I'm getting is 2 days on a weekly basis to mathematics, let us say. So
Yes, sir.
the maximum that I will get is 6 days to 7 days, and in the upcoming 3 weeks period. And in this
Yes.
6 or 7 days that I have to understand that what can be done and what cannot be done. So
Yes, sir.
definitely we can't do something which people can do in 2 years, but probably something that can be done in 6 weeks, those things should be delivered. And
Yes, sir.
according to me, to understand it better would be to write some mock test and figure out that at this point of time, okay, if I have a day, if I can take, let us say, one question or two question, or I take up a topic that can give me one or two questions, and I can invest a day in preparing that, then probably in 6 days that I have, I can invest in getting 6 to 10 questions right. And that could be a huge
Definitely.
number. And like 6 into 4 can become 24. And if I can focus on 10 questions, and if I take high weightage topics, probably it could become as high as 40 marks. So starting from here also, if a student is very conscious that what he's preparing, like you said, based on weightage and his own strengths, and can figure out 6 areas that he want to focus on out of those 15 areas, and can just figure out that, okay, this 6 areas can give me 6 to 10 questions. Extensively
Yeah, at
focus on
least
your preparing that much,
8
and
to
you
10
get
questions would be there
hmm,
covered, at least 8 to 10
6 to 10
questions would be
questions
covered.
can be there. Yes. Worst case, 6 questions, and like a very good scenario, it can be as high as 10 questions. It can be between that also.
Yes,
But
sir.
let us say that in worst case scenario also, you will be able to add 24 marks. If you are getting 20 now, and if you get add 24 more in the coming 6 to 7 days that you will have for preparation, especially in mathematics, then you have done a great job. You will cross 99% in all probability.
Yeah, definitely.
Got it. Okay, now you are telling the second part of the story. Now let us say that if I have 3 weeks, week 1, week 2, week 3, saying that understanding it from 3 different category of students. Let us say there is a student who has not done much preparation. Then last 3 weeks, how should they plan their next 3 weeks ahead?
So for that, I think if we have 3 weeks, chapters already we have identified.
Yes.
Okay. So within that chapter, we should think
You can also recommend
content.
that for a weak students. This could be priority chapters that you can also recommend.
Okay, sir. So that we can do in description itself. Already now it is, I think you will say. Okay. So for the next 3 week, now once we have identified what chapter we have to prepare, then we have to decide. We have to we have to make a decision over the content, because lots of content we have done over the 2 years.
So if a weak student is there, what should he focus on, and how much can he do in those 3 weeks in mathematics?
So suppose that again I'm coming to the same EMD level, easy, medium, and difficult level. So for the chapter, for the topics where I'm feeling comfortable, I have done some material. Suppose that I have joined a particular institute, so I have done module of that. So module, whatever we have done, plus previous year mains question is recommended for that easy level, where we are feeling comfortable.
Fine.
For the chapters where we feel medium, then simply concept plus PYQ will be the better recommended. For the chapters where we are not comfortable, so we can think we can go through the concept formulas, and we can go to solve examples of that. So that if easy questions is coming out of that particular section, so sometimes it happens I have prepared vectors, but vector question is so lengthy to calculate that I'm not able to arrive the final answer. But in some cases we can say they are asking what is the ranking of Nagpur. So it means very easy to do that, even if you are not feeling comfortable in PNC. So the idea is we have to be little bit generalistic and little bit be particular in our approach. Where we are feeling comfortable, we have to go deeper. Where we are not feeling comfortable, we can take the basic examples and along with concept, that will be better to prepare.
Got it. So what your recommendation in a nutshell is, take whatever topics you have decided based on your own analysis. Take those 6 topics or 5 topics or 4 topics, whatever you are okay in doing in those 6 days, 6 to 7 days that you are going to get. And in that, for the topics you feel more confident, go for notes plus PYQs. And for the ones that you are not like at a moderate level, you can do formula and PYQs. And for the ones that you are totally, or let us say not that comfortable, you can focus on just going through the notes or the formula list and just going through the examples, not solving any unsolved questions, right?
Yes, sir.
Got it.
So I want to add one point here.
Yes.
So while doing all these activities, we have to use spirit of inquiry.
Okay.
I think this is the best mental tool now for recalling the things.
Okay.
Suppose that I am asking, suppose anybody is now preparing binomials. So he should use spirit of inquiry regarding what is the binomial expansion, how to write general term, how many terms are there, what are the different properties of binomial expansions, then how to find what is the strategy to find constant terms, what is the strategy to find middle terms, or what is the strategy to find rational or irrational terms. Now, what are the concept related to divisibility problems? What are the different type of series? What are the properties of NCRs? Mm, Then what are the different type
Got
of
it.
series, summation of
Understood.
NCR, RNCR? Basically, I want to say कि if you are asking the question,
Hmm.
then if you are getting the answer, if the answer is running on your mental platform, then it is
Got it.
prepared.
Understood.
It is not
Hmm.
running, then it is not prepared. You just go through,
Hmm.
revise.
Hmm.
So spirit of inquiry, I feel, is the best tool where you can revise the whole concept in 2 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
But if a student is feeling pressurized and he just want
Yeah,
to focus on
definitely.
the areas where questions can come from, do you think that in that much of pressure, people can enjoy and have that spirit of inquiry? Because that is what most of the students ask me. So this is students' question, not my question. Basically, sir, in such pressure, how I would be able to focus on spirit of inquiry at the last moment? So
It
my
is
question is
not any
basically
tool. Everyone has this mental tool. I'm just asking, just connect with yourself. You are connecting with yourself, the whole world will connect with you.
got it.
If you are not connecting with
What you are saying,
yourself,
I
then
can understand. So what I could understand is
you just
compartmentalize things at this point of
yeah,
time.
just self-talk and just keep on asking, keep on asking, keep on asking.
Understood. So what I have got is basically that if we can compartmentalize one day at a time. So probably I wanted
Yes,
to do 6 different things in 6 different ways, and there are a lot of things to be done also. And XYZ marks I'm also getting. Everything is there, but if I can just compartmentalize a target on a daily basis and can focus on doing that much really well, and going into all kinds of questions while doing that deeply, then largely things will fall into place, right?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
I would like to add one more point for weak students, and this is this might or might not work for you, to take it with a pinch of salt. According to me, the geometry questions are easier in the exam. So vectors and 3D should be the first priority. Second should be coordinate geometry. Again, now this depends whether you have done vectors and 3D and coordinate geometry in a certain level of detailing or not. Second is for students who have done some algebra, you can selectively prepare certain topics of algebra wherever you are comfortable. Very highly recommended here is if you are doing matrices and determinants, do sequence and series and quadratic also, because questions are interlinked. If you are doing probability, PNC is an essential. So if you have
Yes,
these pairs into place, do not do topics in isolation. Like I have done matrices and determinant, but I have not done sequence and series. Now it is going to create a problem. Like if you are doing area and differential equation, it is again recommended to do conic sections because some linkages would be there. So
definitely.
if you have such pairs into place, largely it will simplify your problem. And largely
Yes,
what Devesh sir told us, basically compartmentalize things and do one thing at a time and try and do it really well with a lot of sense of inquiry into it. ठीक है.
yes,
Devesh
sir.
sir, next question here is basically what about a student who is getting, let us say, now we talked about a student who was getting less than 20 marks. Let us talk about a student who is getting between 20 to 40 marks. What should be his strategy?
Basically, for in any Indian exam, generally two type of testing. One is idea testing. Do you have the idea how to solve the problem? Second
Hmm.
one is calculation testing.
Hmm.
Even if you have the idea, can you calculate in 1 hour?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
again, the same thing, because main, especially for mathematics point of view, mains concept are repetitive in nature.
Okay.
Data are different. Okay.
Hmm.
So my personal feeling or recommendation will be key where if first focus on the 15 chapters already we have told.
Hmm.
Within that, we have to find glancing of the strategies. That is part of idea testing.
Hmm.
Suppose that what we do in the last day of the exam, we
Hmm.
keep on paging, turning the pages, take the glancing of each and every concept we want to maximize that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that we can start right now after this podcast.
Hmm.
What we have to do, just there are two category of questions in PYQ. Some
Hmm.
of them we have done. Some
Hmm.
of them still we have to do.
Hmm.
If we have done, so
Hmm.
for that, at least we have to ask, just read the problem statement and ask question here,
Hmm.
what are the concept I have used? What is the
Got it.
strategy to solve this problem?
Hmm.
So that is part of idea testing.
Got
So
it.
if we have, for a particular chapter, if I'm just revising all the idea testing, there
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
high chances key concept will be same. Suppose
Got it.
that we are talking about 3D, what they can ask. Now basic direction cosines questions or angle between lines, or you can say
What is this
one
thing?
point is given, line is given, you can find now 4 type of problem, shortest distance, 3 type of questions, and then parallel lines, intersecting line, skew lines.
Got it.
So
Understood.
if you keep on asking the same thing, how to, what are the strategy, what are the strategy to solve a particular problem, then after some times things will keep on repeating.
Got it. So what you are saying is a student who is at a 20 to 40 level, his main problem is he's focusing more on concepts, less on ideas to solve a problem. So if you can
Yeah, sir.
understand in a chapter how many strategies or ways to solve a problem, or what are the categorization of different problems that is there. So they should have cut and dried strategy. Either they can have written it somewhere, like in this matrices and determinants, let us say these type of questions would be there. This is how, what is the method of solving this many type of questions. Then largely it will help. If you have not done, if you have done PYQ, then you can do a reverse testing also, like you said. I will also recommend one more thing. We are making very good videos on YouTube, in which we
Yeah,
have done
I have
that
seen that.
extensively.
That is
We have done that
definitely going to
extensively.
help.
10 problem types, 12 problem types. So if you can just remember what was the strategy corresponding to those problem types, it would largely help. Right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Now, what will you suggest for a student who is doing more than 40 marks or 50 marks at this point of time?
Generally, those students who are getting more scores, so still there are some special sections in a particular chapter where they may feel comfortable or uncomfortable. So
Okay.
suppose that for any chapters we are talking about, they have solved suppose 100 questions. Out of 100 questions, there may be 10 questions that is totally out of the box thinking.
Okay.
So just pinpoint those 10 questions where, means I have seen that generally 90, if a student has done better level practice, out of 100 problems, they are generally able to do 85 to 90 problems very easily.
Okay.
So that is simple glancing is required for those 80 or 90 questions. For remaining 10 to 15 questions, that is out of the box thinking, they have to go through again and try to solve, try to get the final answer again. Then they feel a little bit more confident. It is all about confidence game.
Got it. Understood. So I'd like to add one more point here. What I have always recommended student is basically understanding their own gaps in preparation, especially the
Yeah,
ones who are doing really well. So idea should be to write more mock tests at this point of time. So those who are doing really well, I will recommend them to write at least one mock test daily.
yeah,
And
that will help a lot of, because I have just recently, yesterday I have interacted with Aditya. So earlier he was in a school, when he started the mock test, just 20 days back, his score was 235. Then he keep on doing. In the last yesterday test, he scored 285.
Oh, great.
It means in the next in the 20 days gap, he has improved. I just ask you, means how you can improve from 235 to 280 something. So he said just one thing, sir, initially means that was first time concept to me. But after again a regular mock test, the things keep on repeating. So I feel comfortable about the strategies, how to solve. Then the only time invested is in calculation testing.
Got it.
Initially, as a student, they have to fight on both the front.
Fronts.
Okay, how to solve, then time within the time constraint.
Got it.
After writing 10 to 15 mock tests, he is comfortable how to solve. The only part is calculation testing.
Practice, can calculation. Got it. So in a nutshell, basically, writing lot of test papers at this point of time, especially one test paper on a daily basis, largely help students for getting very good marks.
Yes.
That is what I have seen. And just not writing, analyzing it deeply, because I have seen that there is also then a race of writing one paper daily. Don't just do that. Sit and analyze the paper. Understand what are the takeaways. What are the things I need to revise? What are the things I need to practice? What is the content that is not prepared? And there is always something in all the three areas that we can do, because we are not at 100. We will reach 100 if we do the right kind of things. For if you are already scoring 40, 50 marks, remember you are in the top 1%. And the students who are in the top 1%, everybody knows the content. The basic
Yes,
content
sir.
at least, but strategies, something here and there, calculation, there is some problem that you identify. If you identify that, you get an edge.
Yes, sir.
Got it. ठीक है. So we have addressed the three very important questions for a student, that what should the people do who are at the level of 20, what should the people do who are at the level of 40, and what should be the strategy for students who are doing more than 40. Now the question comes down to how should a day of a student should look like, who was preparing for mathematics. How should your day should be, for mathematics preparation? We are not talking general.
So generally, I feel ki, instead of day, they have to, they should have a unit of 3 days.
Okay.
I prefer 3 days.
Hmm.
Why I'm saying this? Ki generally, when we plan, we become Superman.
Okay.
But after 2-3 hours, then things
We become
get
human.
derailed. Then not by the end of the day, we even our productivity will be less than animals. So the question is, ki, when we plan the things, we feel like Superman. Then things will degraded, and in the evening I feel totally uncomfortable, uneasiness. Then uh, just starting
Got it.
random kind of things. So idea is ki, this is any human behave like that. So
Mhm.
what you have to do means what I personally
Or
feel.
everybody will
Everyone may have.
overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a day. That is
Yes,
what you're
yes.
saying, right?
So now what I generally feel ki, I just make 3 days unit.
Hmm.
Suppose that at a particular, suppose I have decided 3 days unit. Within 3 days, in some time zone, I feel comfortable, sometimes uncomfortable.
Okay.
But if we have a 3 days unit, then
Window.
suppose that today I'm not feeling comfortable, so my productivity will be low.
Hmm.
But by evening, suppose I'm feeling supercharged, so my productivity will be high.
Hmm.
But if I'm just focusing only on the day, so
Hmm.
by the evening, suppose afternoon I'm not doing well, then by evening also now that whole studies get derailed because
Hmm.
I feel the guilty ki I have not prepared in the afternoon.
Hmm.
But if we have 3 days unit, so sometimes we feel ki okay, I have not done in the afternoon. By the evening or by the night, I will complete, or by the next day, I will complete. So it will make the things a little bit more mentally balanced.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Otherwise, I have seen most of the students, they plan a particular day like Superman, then they fail by evening, then next day they don't plan.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Got it. It is a
So,
good strategy, but I have never thought about it like that. Because see, I have learned a very interesting thing that I will try and share with you. See, what happens with most of the students is they think of doing things very consciously. And the
yes, sir.
problem with their day is basically they are using lot of energy in taking those decisions on a day-to-day basis. And
Yes,
every day they
yes.
will start from the morning, they will start making a lot of decisions. And every decision will consume some power of their emotional energy. You have limited amount of
Definitely.
emotional energy. Bodily energy will have a lot. You want to do a lot of things with your body. But you will consume that emotional energy that is required to take important decisions.
Yes, sir.
What I recommend them is basically make your day like a template and repeat it on a daily basis. I called it creating mental loops. So you create a loop and every day you try and add one more loop into it. For example, one of the loops can be when I'm sleeping, when I'm getting up. So this is a loop. I will not every day think about it. So 10 o'clock, the clock is at 10, I will go and sleep, irrespective of whatever is going in my life. Now, let us say there is a loop. After that, 7 or 8 hours of sleep, I will get up in the morning. So I will get up at 5, 8. Now that
Yes.
loop is there. Now, first thing I will do is I will get ready. I will take a bath properly. I will get ready. So you can see that automatically I've set up 2 loops. I will not think till that point of time. Now I can add one more loop ultimately and say that after that I will revise my short notes. So till short notes, I'm not thinking what I need to do. So
Yes.
every time you think, basically you consume some energy and you are not doing relevant stuff, you will carry it away with your emotions.
This is the strategy of super productivity, I feel.
I
Yes.
don't know. Basically,
Generally,
I've used this. I've
no,
learned this in yoga.
this is linked with subconscious planning. Okay? Now, if we have everything, just like means we have in PRACBEE, we have our calendars.
Mm.
So generally, it happens ki when we have a week off. I have no calendar to act. Then the whole day is I waste in random things, experimenting random things. So out of the. But if I have a calendar
Mm.
on a weekly basis, then the things
No, I have
get
put
in
like
line.
loops in my mind. Like now, when I get up in the morning, my loop is basically I will do my shave, then I will take a bath. After that, I will do exercise. After that, I will do breathing exercise. After that, I have done music. I have attached five activities with it. I started with one. I made it 5. So till 5, I am not thinking anything. I will only start thinking about my life after these 5 activities are done. So there are
Yes.
some things that we'll want to do every day, like short notes revision needs to be done every day. Everybody knows that, but it requires additional decision making, so they will not do it. And first day
Yes.
is always going to be difficult, second will become easier, and eventually it will become a very easy activity. And we have seen Ditya doing it last year, and the same problem ultimately when she started doing it, it was an essential activity, and she scored very high marks, like 70-80% marks in mathematics in JEE Advanced.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
so this becomes very productive after a certain point of time. Initially, you will not feel a difference.
Yeah, means excellency is always boring. So initially,
Yes,
everyone,
initially.
this is the statement of Virat Kohli.
Got it.
Excellency is always boring. So
Yes,
now, when we want to excel in something, initially, we have to go through that boredom.
got it. So this was the first thing that I realized. And then the second thing was basically doing a lot of questions in a day. So usually I will take a target that 3 hours or 4 hours I will sit and practice. Then there are automatically times in days where I will write mock test. So 9 to 12, let us say there is a time of writing the mock test, I will leave everything and write the mock test and get over with it. Or 3 to 6, there is a time I will sit and write the mock test and get over with it. Then there is a practice slot, I will sit and do extensive problem solving. So like I
Yes,
will
sir.
make it
So
a rule that I'm solving problems for 6 hours a day at least, because if I do not practice, obviously my mathematics is not going to improve, whatever smart strategy I use.
yes,
Sometimes stupidest of strategies, like they had no chance of succeeding, will succeed and give you results. Because the important
yes.
you're doing it. And there are people who are not doing it. And you will see a lot of people at this point of time who procrastinate and do
Execution is the
nothing.
main issue.
Yes,
So
yes.
one point I want to add, ki
Yes,
if,
yes, please.
for all those students who are preparing,
Hmm.
when you are writing mock test, so alternate time shift will be one day 9 to 12,
Okay,
other
great,
3 to 6.
great, great,
So
great.
that ki our biological clock is set to fight. I don't know and when my shift will be there. So our biological clock should be set
Yes,
like
yes.
that.
I had this discussion with one of our students, Adi, yesterday, and he's telling that, sir, I wrote a paper between 3 to 6, and I was completely off. I was unable to do a single question in mathematics, etc. Every question was confusing for me because
It
usually
happens,
you
sir.
write paper
Student
in
get
9 to 12.
blanks.
9 to 12 he used to write, and then 3 to 6 is the sleeping time or resting time, and he's doing an exam. It is not going to work out.
Yes, sir. So
Uh,
alternate
hmm,
days,
hmm,
one day 9
hmm.
to 12,
Good
next day
idea.
3 to 6.
Good
That
idea.
will be better.
So if you're very, very prepared, you can write two also, but largely we recommend at least once in 3 days. And for all the students, they should at least write one mock test paper if you're decently prepared on a daily basis. Who are extremely prepared can write two. What is the rule of thumb to follow is basically here that your days largely should have four activities into it. One is revision, the second one is testing, the third is analysis of test, and then the fourth is preparation. Preparation you can split into three parts: what you need to revise, what you need to practice, what is the content that you need to prepare. If you are this processing cycle, I call this as processing cycle. If this is really short, you can write two. If this is really long, you can write one. If it is very, very long, you can write one in 2 days, so on and so forth. So
Yes,
understand your processing cycle, and based on that, you can do things.
yes,
Okay, Devesh sir, now what will you tell students who write maths paper? Because maths paper, most of the people will mismanage like anything. Most of them are giving 1.5 hours in writing maths section of the paper. So what do you think? What should be the order, like physics, chemistry, mathematics? What should be the order of picking up mathematics, and how should they go about in a math section when they're attempting it?
yes, sir, yes, sir. So basically, what happens means it all depend on mood. Ki,
Okay.
just like we can take the example of recent Indian Test cricket. So
Hmm.
just 2 months back, they were super highly confident. Then they were demoralized by New Zealand. Now their moral level is at weakest level. Today
Morale is
in the
very low.
morning itself they all out at 185.
Hmm.
So means they are legendary players,
Hmm.
but still not performing.
Hmm.
So this is how things will go on. Okay,
Hmm.
you have knowledge, you have everything, but
Hmm.
there will be certain time that you will not be able to perform because of that mental framework is not in a
Okay.
positive side.
Got it.
So every player in that are a legendary player, but
Hmm.
performance wise, because they are not they are in mental positive zone, so
Hmm.
things are not in falling in line. So it may happens to any student also.
Got it.
Their preparation, their knowledge will be better,
Hmm.
but if they are not in the right positive mental
Framework
zone
of mind. Huh? Hmm. Zone.
framework,
Zone is the right
then
word.
things will be derailed.
Hmm.
I have seen many examples where the student got blank in the exam itself, where the
Hmm.
student are not able to sleep.
Hmm.
So let's coming to the actual question, ki how to attempt the
Hmm.
paper, math part and the
This
whole
you talked
paper.
about what
So
to do before the exam is to keep a very positive framework of mind. You're going,
yeah,
and despite
definitely.
whatever your preparation, think that you are going to do well. and go with that positive mindset in the exam. From other sections, what happened is fine. But when you are moving to mathematics, have that frame of mind that things are going to work out.
I will recommend everyone to listen the song Arambh Hai Present, and if they belongs to North Indian.
Go
So
with
at
a high
least
mindset.
whatever things motivate them, just try to use as a tool.
Mm.
Second thing, in before exam, for the mental positiveness, they should use some mood setter also. Mood setter may be
Okay.
music. Mood
Mm.
setter may be some, just like I'm a little bit foodie, so I like some chocolates. Suppose that I'm taking
Okay.
chocolate, my mood is okay. So
Okay.
before exam, if they are using mood
Mm.
setter, maybe
Mm.
music, maybe
Mm.
some eateries,
Mm.
maybe talking to your parents, mom and dad, to
Mm.
feel comfortable, maybe your friends also.
Got it.
So they are acting like mood
You're setting
setters.
up the mood
Even,
for the test, basically. Okay,
even at
things are
this
fine.
stage, whenever I feel uncomfortable, I will call you. So means you are acting as a mood setter for
Mood
me.
setter.
So mood setter is very important. Generally, this is the whole exam is not about only knowledge testing. It is
Mm.
whole personality testing.
Got it.
Within that personality, being in
Knowledge will work in the bounds
positive
of the
mental
personality.
framework is very important. So first, I will request all of you, ki, those students who are going to appear, ki just identify your mood setter
Mm.
and try to implement use them. Second thing, whenever you are actually writing the exams, I prefer chemistry than physics than math. I always recommend ki,
Mm. Me too.
go
Same.
through the chemistry because in exam chemistry in Indian exam chemistry 70% is recalling based questions
Got it. Mm.
we have to encounter. So if we are fresh in mind, and recently we have taken mood setter also,
Mm.
so we are happy and so our recalling capacity will be little at better level.
Got it.
So just do the chemistry in 40 minutes,
Mm.
physics in 1 hour.
Mm.
Then for math we have 1 hour, 15 minutes and 5 minutes for filling the blanks in between them.
Got
So
it.
this should be the time distribution, I feel.
Mm. Okay.
Second thing, particularly in mathematics, when we are now coming to the math section,
Mm.
because our whole performance outcome will depend on our those instant decisions.
Okay.
So generally, I will feel ki before attempting what I have seen, I have talked many students. They see the paper and try to write. Okay, question number one, try it. Question number two, try it. Question number three, try it. And after the three questions is not coming, they get blank.
Mm.
So before directly attacking the questions, we
Mm.
have to again take decisions in those tough time. What
Mm.
are the decisions that they have to take?
Mm.
Just take the glancing of the paper
Mm.
and obviously keep smiling. So while glancing of the paper, they have to identify easy questions
Mm.
first. Okay.
Mm.
When I'm talking easy question, there may be some conceptually easy but lengthy in calculations.
Mm.
Don't go for that.
Mm.
Easy in concept and easy to calculate.
Mm.
At least 4 or 5 questions should be
Mm.
done identified in that way
Mm.
initially.
Mm.
Once we are able to solve 4 or 5 questions, so again the EMD in strategy I will apply ki, while glancing the paper they have to identify ki, okay, this is an easy in concept, easy to calculate, easy in concept, easy to calculate.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
so initially 4 or 5 questions that should be done.
Mm.
From that, not only questions we are getting correct, our mood is also at correct level.
Okay.
Then what happens ki when we turn to moderate questions, we can easily, because we are already super confident,
Mm.
then moderate questions we can do in
Okay.
that sense.
Mm.
And once moderate things are a little bit better level, even sometimes I feel difficult. There are many
Difficult
students
happen.
means when they are in high zone, the difficult question they can crack very easily.
Mm.
I was not expecting this student can do this problem, but they are because of
They're in the
using this
zone and they got
framework,
it.
they
Mm.
in that mental zone they can hit the difficult question also. So
Got it.
my request again repeating, identify easy concept, easy to calculate, four
Mm.
five questions, then moderate, again take decision, identify the moderate, and
Mm.
then go through that, then try to through the difficult question.
Got it. Understood.
So that will be the better way,
Got it.
in my
Understood.
opinion.
So if I try and recap, what you said is basically one, read the paper carefully. Understand what are the questions that can be done really fast and easy to do also. That should be the first type 1 question. Then there is type 2, which is little bit calculation intensive, but still manageable. You can do it. And third is something that you don't want to do, don't want to invest time in. Or probably towards the last, when you have very high motivation because you got the questions right. And with
Yes,
that
sir.
increased motivation and mood, you can go and attack those questions, right? So I would like to add 1 or 2 points more here. See, there is a strategy that I tell students to do exactly what you are trying to tell me. So what I will tell them is basically what you can start with is when you're reading a question. And you can read a question. If you figure out that it is an easy question, do that instantly. So that they are able to save time. That is one. Now let us say that there is a question they think that they can do, but the calculation might be difficult. Mark it for review.
Yes, sir.
So it is very easy to mark questions in the exam, and then something that you do not want to do, just leave it. So in that manner, whatever you could do, you have done in the first attempt when you're reading the paper itself. What you want to do in the next step now will be there in the review section. You can go and reattempt those questions. They will be marked there. And then the third kind of question that are left basically are something that you've got extra time, you can go and attempt it.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this strategy
Yes.
largely works for most of the students. At least I have seen it working for a lot of students, and largely it works for most of the students.
I want to add one
Yes,
point
please.
here also. In exam, don't be egoist,
Okay.
especially in mathematics.
Hmm.
Suppose that our identification decision is wrong.
Okay.
It may be wrong. Everyone is wrong at some point. So suppose our decision is wrong. Suppose that we are thinking the question was easy to calculate, but it is getting lengthier. Just leave that. Don't be egoist. Okay. So I have seen many and a good student, their
Getting
performance
stuck
is
in this.
bad because of this ego nature. As a human being, have some sort of ego. Everyone has.
Yeah, yeah.
So especially in when we are doing attending the exam. So my request will be don't be egoist. Otherwise, means either in this attempt or in next attempt or in advance, especially in advance, they kill your ego very deeply. So don't be egoist, be
This
humble.
happened
If you are not
basically.
able to solve, just leave that.
Since you picked up this point, something that happened with me in the exam. What happened with me in the exam, my trigonometry was very good. When I was a student, I used to take doubt of a student and who ultimately scored 21 rank in JEE Advanced. So when I was taking his doubt when I was a student, and especially of trigonometry, so I had tremendous amount of confidence in trigonometry because what that guy used to do is do all the Russian authors, etc., come up with 5-6 doubts from the whole book and give it to me. And I will keep solving that question for 5-6 hours, make a solution out of it, and give it back to him. I did not realize that in that amount of time when he will give me difficult questions, people will say that why are you wasting time? But what I did was I developed the ability to solve problems. Most of the times students are busy doing surveys and are not busy in developing the skill set that if you know very little, how can you solve a very big problem using that very little knowledge that they don't have? And I developed it somehow. Also, I developed a sense of confidence in trigonometry that I am extremely well in it. And despite knowing very little, what I know today about trigonometry, I did not even knew a fraction of that.
Yes.
But what happened when I went for my JEE Advanced exam, a question came in trigonometry. And I had this habit because I was so confident. I will search questions of trigonometry in the paper. Acha, this is trigonometry. Okay, I will solve this first. I had that nature about trigonometry, and then the question I was unable to do it. So now the benefit of writing so many papers is basically I had done so many papers. Every day I used to write at least one mathematics paper. So in our times, you had 3 sections, physics paper different, chemistry different, maths different. I used to write one paper daily for JEE Advanced preparation also. So what that gave me is understanding that to understand your own gearing system. For example, you will drive at a different gear at different kind of terrain. If the terrain is very inclined, then you will have to put a lower gear into place, right? So if there is a difficult paper into place, you can't go with a 100 km speed in that paper. You will have to lower down your gear, understand the difficulty level of the paper, and then attempt it accordingly. Give it its due respect. Probably if it is a moderate, I can have a moderate approach. And if it is very easy, I will have to go really fast because everybody is cracking that exam. If I don't do it, obviously I'm not going to do better. So understood this, and because of that, when I was unable to do that question, and then 2-3 questions subsequently, understood that this is not an easy exam because it is not that easy for me to not get a math question right. Then I
Yes, yes.
changed my gearing altogether. I started searching questions that okay, what I can do in this exam, and went out of my this high horse approach that ki, I can crack any question under the sky, etc. Because I understood after solving 2 3 questions ki not many will be able to do this exam, and
Some of the
cutoff was
students are
literally there.
not able to change this gear.
Hmm.
Some of the students are not able to change this gear, so that's why even deserving student get quite sometimes out of the rank, out of the selection, sometimes very low rank.
Got it.
So
Understood.
now what I want to clarify here, from your experience, having ego before the exam is good for mental development. During exam is not good for the rank.
Got
So
it.
better will be we have to
But if you
identify
write enough
when to
exams,
change
na,
the
you
gear.
get this experience enough number of times to make right
Yes,
kind of
absolutely.
decision in the exam, right? Ki understand that what you can do and what you can't do. I think most of the
Yes,
students, what you earlier pointed out, and went go wrong in that direction that they do not understand their own limitations. At least if
yes,
I
sir.
understand that okay, this question I can do, I will not waste time in that question that I can't do, and that
So
choice is
generally,
important to
means
me.
at this age, it is easy for us to say ki change the gear. But at emotional level at the class 12,
Hmm.
means 1 week before, I'm having a conversation with one of the student. I was just saying ki I'll just leave it to God.
Hmm.
For the one thing, so he said, "I am the God." So I was I was just thinking, ki, yaar, this
कभी
is
कभी
the
अपन को
age.
लगता है अपन ही भगवान
Adi
है.
Bhagwan.
Got it.
So, and I am definitely sure कि when he will write the exam, so this mess up will definitely he will do.
Okay, okay. And let us
So,
think positive. But my idea whole is basically that changing gear is important. Understand the type of exam and then change gear.
yes, yes,
I'm talking only in mathematics. I'm not talking general. In mathematics, you need to understand the gear because it meant that mathematics is generally difficult, but in your attempt, it was easy. It happened last year.
yeah.
So
27 January paper question was super easy.
super
So
easy.
means
So super high cutoff.
even 99 percentile is something 240 or 250 plus, I think, nearby that.
Wait,
So
you need to understand your own paper, be with it, and change gear accordingly. Don't take lot of notions in the exam. Ki mathematics is
yes,
like this, physics is like this, chemistry is like this. It is fine, your analysis it in your own place. But be present in the exam. That is very important. Don't carry a lot of notion. Understand your limitations and what sir said. Always do things that you can do in the first priority. Mark for review and leave things. Leaving is as important as doing.
yeah, please. That is saving time. Means adding some more marks in another question.
Another question is like especially. Yeah, got it. Now, what are the pitfalls do you think at this point of time students should avoid? Because ultimately, whatever you say, they are going to do some stupid things. So, what do you
First
think are the pitfalls that
First
they
thing
should avoid?
I request all the student. I think generally I have seen this time of
Mm,
tough means when we have 2 3 weeks to go.
mm,
So there are lots of as a student they have to fight lots of unwanted thoughts.
mm.
So within I want to just identify some of them. One is ki my preparation is bad, others are
Doing
good.
good.
This is also a myth. Second point, we now during this period we want to be a little bit just like even we want to become even powerful more than Modi. So what they do, they be very specific in their decisions. They say, yeah, in this paper, I have to score 220 or 200,
Mm.
but means they
Because
focus on range.
half of the puzzle is the
Yeah.
paper also, right?
They focus on range. They should just observe here, focus on domain.
Mm,
So getting how much question you will get correct, that will depend on paper
mm,
and our performance in that paper. So
mm,
my request will be, don't take any specific decision that is not beyond our control. Okay, how the paper will come, how many marks I have to attempt at least. They will have a clear vision for that. Means many students I am while interacting they reveal ki, so in this question in this paper I am going to score 230,
mm.
and when they actually
A lot of
write
people
the
say
final
like that
paper.
also, na, इस पेपर में तो दो 230 आने ही चाहिए थे. So they will also take it to their heart. They are telling after
So
the paper is done, you are telling it before the paper. That is the difference, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir. So I will request all of them here, just be blunt. Ki, na, I have to focus on
Hmm.
particular question.
Hmm.
I have to focus on the paper.
Hmm.
If the label is easy, I will for all. If the
Hmm.
label is suppose why I am saying this, कि sometimes it happens you have mentally prepared कि I have to score 250 plus.
Hmm.
But last year, in one of the paper, I think 99 percentile was nearby 150 or 160.
Hmm. That
So
was.
suppose that a particular student has focused to 20 plus,
Hmm. He will
then
get motivated.
paper is difficult. So he get, after 20, 30 minutes, he get demoralized.
Yes.
So not having any specific mental decision ki how much I need to score. Yeah, you have 3 hour 300 scored uh, gain. So just focus on 0 to 300. Don't restrict yourself in 150, 130, 200, 220. No, just focus on 0 to 300. Just fight
Got it.
for each question. Fight for with your whole energy. Don't restrict yourself
Okay.
before the exam or during the exam.
Got it.
That will be it.
Got it.
And some of the students even they decided कि यार I need mechanical in IIT Delhi. What I should say.
I get such a request.
This, but two days
Sir,
back I was
I will only do computer science from IIT Delhi. You have decided, but IIT people have not decided yet.
yes. So what is this nonsense kind of decisions? So
Yes.
means at least don't. This is good for manifestation,
Yes.
but not good for this
Writing the
kind of
exam.
yeah.
I will like to
So
add one thing here. I read a very important quote of Sun Tzu, is a military strategist from China, and he wrote one of the earliest military treatises. And he
yes,
writes one sentence. He says that the person who knows himself will win half of the war. The person who knows himself and the enemy will win 100% of the war. So
yes,
half
sir.
of the part of the puzzle is paper, half of the part of the puzzle are you yourself. At this point of time, you can write enough papers to understand how the papers work. That is a very good idea. And half what you're doing your preparation is in your own mind. That is also fine. But don't
Yes, sir.
take lot of pre-notions in the exam. And do not take
Yes,
a lot of notions in the exam that what I'm going to do and what I'm going to do after the exam, what kind of colleges I'm going to take, and worry about the counseling processes. Now, some podcast will also come on this. We'll see. Somebody will start talking about basically what colleges you can take. अरे भाई exam तो खत्म हो जाने दे.
because students are thinking and they are trying to utilize these emotions.
Got it.
So
Anything other than that you can think about? I have one. I will
everyone
give you
say,
one. I will give you one. Then you can give me another. What I've seen is
so
basically people messing up their biological cycle like anything at this point of time. Got it. So
yeah,
there is this one incident that I will try to connect with the idea. See, we had this inter IIT and IIT. So one of my friend who was a good athlete, and I told him that, see, the main athlete is not going to participate. Can you participate? You run very well, 400-meter very well. He told me before the race. Let me try it before the race. So before the race, he took a 400-meter 100% run, and he felt that okay, I've done a very good timing. I'm prepared. Did not understand that you have limited amount of energy. If you consume it before the race, then in the
yes,
race
sir.
you're not going to have enough energy. All right. So
Yes, sir.
people do not understand this, and what they will do is they will exhaust themselves in the week or two before the exam. They will completely drain themselves out, and when they will go for the exam, they are totally drained out in terms of energy, psychological energy, everything. So a
Yes, sir.
very
Yes, sir.
important thing when you're setting up yourself for the exam is slowly tone down the cycle.
Yes, sir.
And
That will
that is
help.
very important so that you feel energetic in the exam in terms of physical output that you are producing, in terms of mental output that you are producing. Take
Yes, sir.
enough rest before the exam, and it is not going to happen that one day before the exam I am saying stop, because your mind will keep on working. You have put a loop into place. It will not automatically. You will have to slowly slow it down before the exam so that you
Yes, sir.
feel relaxed before going to the exam. If you burn yourself out before going into the exam, then obviously you are not going to give your best. Despite you being a very brilliant student, that is unimportant. But you have burnt yourself out.
Especially last just before exam,
Hmm.
sleep is
Sleep is
cycle,
very
I
important.
think.
Yes.
Yeah. Very.
I have felt this, like if you slept really well, and when you are driving a bike and you have a very
Recalling
good skill,
capacity get
good,
increased.
and basically it is more about awareness. When you're writing an exam, you have to take decisions. When you're solving a question, you have to take decisions. You have to generate ideas, and it is all about awareness. When you sleep
Yes, sir.
less, when you're tired, your awareness goes down. In terms of driving, it would mean accident. In terms of
Yes, sir.
questions, it will make negative marks. And not able to generate the idea in the exam. So sleep and rest is as important as doing things. This is very important. This happened with
Yes.
me when I was in IIT. What happened is, because of certain events into place, and I was stopped by my professor to not go to athletics field for 1 week before the actual event. And I thought that that is a disaster. I can't. I am not practicing 1 week before the actual meet. And my coach,
Yes,
he
sir.
came to me and told that this is the best thing that can happen to you. I asked him, how, why are you saying that? Because now you are going to rest. I have been telling you to rest and be fresh before you
Yes.
go for the actual event for so long, and you are not listening to me. You want to practice more and more and more and more.
Yes,
But
sir.
there is a time to practice, there is a time to do rest, and that is how you get the performance. So that 1 week when I did zero workout, what happened was that my body recovered like anything from inside out. And because of that, when I went for the rest, I was completely fit, I was completely healthy, I was completely refreshed, I was 100% energy. And that helped me score better performance and medals in the actual tournament.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So generally, but due to human emotions, they don't practice, means they don't follow this.
Hmm.
Generally, I have seen that even before the exam, they are sitting at the back of the car and just keep on glancing. So that this type of mischievous, means this is a crime in
They
exam,
are
I
tiring
feel.
out the mind basically, that they have
Yeah,
to ultimately
means
able to
recalling
understand.
capacity totally get means thinking
Yes,
in a
yes.
way, recalling capacity every get
And there is something very
uh,
interesting happens, and this I will want to share. What happens is basically your vision becomes skewed. So
yes, sir.
probably there are 100 things in a topic, but you are going to think about only those four that you went before, that you read before the exam. Another thing is, probably do not remember something. You are going to think very skewed that what you don't know, that is the only thing that they are going to ask.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this skewed thing will also happen. Yes, yes, you
So
are saying something.
I feel कि last day preparation one or two question they can get,
Hmm.
but they don't feel that how many questions they are not able to recall due to that activity.
Hmm.
So if you are for to all student, I am just saying this, कि if you are keep on mugging at the last day, last moment, you
Hmm.
can get 1 or 2 questions.
Hmm.
But what you don't realize, कि how many questions you would have been able to recall,
Hmm.
but due to your already exhausted energy, you are not able to recall.
Got it. Awareness becomes low. Basically, your brain cannot travel inside your own mind and access different kind of energy points and memory points. Basically, that is your setup. Hmm.
This means in mythological, it is good to think like Superman, कि every human being is God and Superman, but in reality, we know, okay,
We all
sometimes it
need rest,
happens,
basically.
yeah, we all need, sometimes it happens, कि suppose that due to some social activity, other, I am not able to sleep, then I have to sit in all office work for 15 to 16 hours.
Hmm.
Then in the end, I feel कि even easy questions I can't compute in a
Hmm.
correct way
Efficiency
if
goes down like anything.
efficiency put out.
Hmm.
Means I most of the times whenever I am not have done the proper sleep, then I make many mistakes in calculation itself, even after this
Hmm.
age.
Even
So
Jeff
this is
Bezos, what he says is most important thing that I do in a day is sleep, because that makes me make good decisions. And if I've taken two, three
yes, sir,
good
yes,
decisions in a
definitely.
day, I have done really good, because most of the times we'll take bad decisions and that will lead to losses. So taking,
Yes, sir. Yes.
and it will not happen if you are tired out completely. What else, sir? What else
Yes.
can you add?
So just I will request all the student to talk to means talk to themselves in a positive way.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
and
Got it.
the simple, again, I'm
Important.
repeating the same line, connect with yourself
No, got it, got it. Like, what you
in
said is
positive way.
very important. Like, most of the times, people have very derogatory tone when they talk to themselves.
Yes, or
Their
sometimes
tone to themselves
negatively
is very
feeling that,
derogatory. They do not believe
yes,
that they can do it.
yes,
And
sir,
if you
yes.
do not believe you can do it, probably nobody will ever be able to convince you that you can do it.
Last week,
Very important.
when in one of the classes, I was talking to a student and I was just
Hmm.
asking why your performance is down. So I was see, he said I was in pressure.
Hmm.
Then I asked what was the outcome of this pressure? You get 30 marks less.
Hmm.
What is the average of the last test?
Hmm.
So now, earlier he obtained 150. Then due to pressure, he obtained 119. So what is the benefit of this pressure,
Got
having this pressure?
it.
No? So now we can say now 31 marks less.
Hmm.
So
Got
whenever
it. Got
means
the point. I think this is a good ending point to what we were trying to do. It is very important to build a very positive self-image. This is very important because what you are trying to manifest inside, that is going to ultimately come outside of you. So only students who can't improve in the next 6 days or 3 weeks. I am saying 6 days because most of the people are going to get 6 to 7 days to do mathematics and 3 weeks to do oral preparation. Are those students who truly believe that they can't do it. Everybody else is going to improve. And you can see that a lot of people do not improve because fundamentally they have believed on a certain idea that only this much I can do. Or I deserve this much only. So keep out of that and come out of that zone. At this point of time, believe in yourself that you are going to make a positive impact in coming 3 weeks. Have a plan into place and then put those psychological loops into place. Do all of those things automatically with a idea that I need to generate more outcome than more planning. I have seen people doing more planning and less outcome. And obviously, we talked a lot about writing papers, etc. All of that might be really handy to you as a level of technique. But fundamentally, the thing that is going to give you result is your own self-belief that you deserve it and you are going to make a difference. Right?
Yes, sir.
Devesh sir, anything else? Last advice before we end this up.
So simple, hit hard or go home.
Okay. Hit hard or go home. And that is the last thing of today's podcast. I hope students will follow it. They are going to utilize the coming 3 weeks, 6 days in mathematics to zero on to some areas, prepare them really well, and have a positive outlook of how they are going to write their exam, how they are going to take their preparation in the last moment. It was nice interacting with you, Devesh sir. Thank you for coming.
Same here. Thank you, sir.
If you like this video, you will also like PRACBEE's unique one-on-one last mile journey program. In this program, we sit with the student, understand their preparation till this point of time. And based on that, in step 2, we write a customized planner just for you to help you optimize your marks in JEE Mains exam based on whatever preparation you have done. In the step 3, we sit with you one-on-one by a set of faculties aligned by PRACBEE and help you implement the customized plan that we wrote for you. Students have come to us with limited, no or good preparation and all have been able to score their marks to a large extent. Ashish, using this program, was able to improve his fortunes by lot, starting from 95 percentile in JEE Mains attempt 2 to getting selected for mechanical in IIT Madras. Ditya, over a period of time, was able to crack into JEE Advanced using this program. If you think that this seems interesting to you, click on the link below in the description, fill the required details and somebody from my team will get in touch with you.